Alright, well welcome back. It's been a while. I haven't uploaded for like a month, I think. But had a lot going on. Taking a little breather. And I'm waiting on some parts for this thing. So I did buy a new intake. I ended up getting a Holley High Ram, a black one, but it's still back ordered. So this one's actually Hunter's from the Hunter Tuned YouTube channel. He's letting me borrow his. So what I want to do here is get this thing mocked up. I ordered a coupler, waiting on that stuff, so basically I just want to get the intake on and start running some lines for my catch can. So I did get this big 4-port Honda Civic catch can, and I would like to run the 4 lines. So I have an idea with this thing to try to run the catch can lines from the valley cover underneath the intake and see how that goes. So let's get the old one off, we'll get the new one on, and then we'll start to mock stuff up.
Dad, do you remember you had the yellow red car? You're dropping a lot of oil, Dad. Dad, you're dropping a lot of oil.
It's coolant. Yeah, maybe I should have drained her a little bit. It's a big old mess.
You took the engine out?
No, it's just the intake.
That's the intake?
Just the intake.
You take the engine out?
No, we're not going to take the whole engine out. We're just going to put a new intake on it.
You have a new intake?
Yep, it's right underneath the bumper.
Where is the bumper?
Underneath.
Underneath that front?
Down there, on the ground.
Oh, that's the new bumper.
The thing that we got from Hunter's shop. Oh.
That's the thing what we got from Hunter Top?
Yeah, that's what we got from Hunter's shop.
That what we got from Hunter Top? What?
Yep.
The back thing on the ground?
Yes. Okay, so I got the intake on. I don't have throttle body or anything on there yet. What I want to do now is mock up the 10AN bung with the fitting on it. So essentially what I want to do is come over to this catch can here. But what I want to do is I want to take these underneath. It's a little hard to reach, but I do have plenty of room under here. And essentially I want to put like one bung here, one here, one here, and then run the hoses back. And I got enough of a gap back there to probably be able to run them up with the heater hoses and then over to here. So I know the 4 probably seems a little bit excessive, but I've used 2-port catch can before, and I've always had issues with it, like pushing oil and too much crank pressure. At least I think it's too much crankcase pressure. So I want to try using the 4-port and see if it makes any difference. Like I said, probably a little bit excessive, but we're going to try it on this one. The only thing I know I'm not going to like about that is it doesn't have a drain port on it, so that might be hard to drain. I might almost have to like take the filter off and suck it out of the top, but we'll see how that goes. I do like how it looks already. It looks pretty cool in there. And one of the other reasons that I want to go with this intake is I want to test something because of that wide open throttle surging that I'm hearing in the last couple videos. A couple people commented on it. I did a bunch of stuff trying to like make that go away, and I'm starting to wonder if it's just the cam turbo intake combination, and maybe wide open throttle is trying to push too much air in, and like the intake and cam combination isn't happy at low RPM, because that's a BTR stage 3 turbo cam. So this will be the same cam and intake setup that I had on the Mustang, and that worked really well. But I did spin the engine higher, so I shifted that one at like 75. This one I was shifting at like 65-ish. So just a theory, but I'm wondering if it's just not happy at low RPM. So I want to try to rev it a little bit higher, and I just like how the intake looks. So next I'm gonna pull this thing off, and then I'll pull the valley cover off, we'll clean it up, and then start welding some bungs in. Okay, so I got my spare engine pulled out with the valley cover off. So what I want to do is put the valley cover on here so I don't have to work in the engine bay, and I can mount the intake on top of this, and I don't have to be leaning over the truck. This is the valley cover from the Escalade. I'm just using this super clean foaming stuff. I use some of the regular and some of the foaming, and I'm just gonna let it soak, clean this stuff up. The Super Clean company actually sent me this stuff to try it, so told them I would use it, put it in a video. So they sent me all this other stuff, a hat and shirt and some absorbent stuff, wheel cleaner and some other aerosol degreaser. So that was pretty cool. Just let this soak for a few more minutes and we'll clean it up. Super clean. All right, so I'm actually kind of impressed with this stuff. So I let it soak for like 15 minutes and then I just wiped it off. I didn't have to scrub it or anything compared to the other one. So I look at the bottom side, like this line right here, that was just where it dripped from the top, and then I just wiped it off, and you can see where it kind of dripped all around. It's just like completely completely cleaned it and took it all off there. So stuff actually works really good. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. Something like this, where I have the rear two closer together and then the front two farther apart, so I can go around the outside with the front lines and just down the center with the rear lines. So it should look something like this. I do have plenty of room. I did test fit them. I can't really mount it on there right now, otherwise it tips over. But I'll get them tack welded on and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so I got all these things welded on. These were a little bit too close. I couldn't really get in between there, so what I did was I welded from the back side of it, which in hindsight, I should have just did that with all of them. It was a lot faster and it would have given a lot cleaner look, but it'll all be under the intake. So I just mocked up some fittings here and reused one of the fuel lines just to kind of mock it up. So I'll throw the intake on and we'll see how everything fits. Okay, so there it is with the intake on, and you can see that there's clearance all the way around all the fittings, even with the hose on there. So this should work pretty nice. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how that fits. I'm gonna end it here. I have some parts that I'm waiting on. I'm waiting for like a 3-inch to 4-inch coupler, some other 10AN90 fittings, and got some other stuff going on this weekend. So hopefully that stuff will come in next week. We'll get this thing on and running. My actual intake that I bought it on August 30th, and the ship date I just found out is gonna be June 28th. So big thanks to Hunter for letting me borrow this thing and get everything mocked up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even been able to start any of this for another month yet. I do have all the hose already, and I did order some low-dollar motorsports sensors, so I'd like to do like back pressure and maybe crankcase pressure just for fun, just to kind of test that. It'd be interesting to see, now that I have 4 ports on it and a lot of vent, to see what the differences are, like with no vent at all and with 2 vents, with 4 vents. It'd be fun to test all that stuff, but that'll be coming up later. Have a good one.